Big news in college basketball tonight as it is being reported that Wichita State is set to part ways with men's basketball coach Gregg Marshall by the end of the week. Now, this news comes 2 weeks before Wichita State is set to begin their 2020-2021 basketball season, and also a month after it was reported that Gregg Marshall has had allegations against him. And these allegations are about abusing his players. Now, ESPN wrote an article by Jeff Borzello on October 8th. So, about a month ago. And I will put the link to that article in the description box down below if you haven't read the article or even heard any of the allegations that are against Gregg Marshall, or if you haven't followed news in college basketball in general lately, because we are in the middle of football season. But some of the allegations that are against Gregg Marshall, it involves body shaming at least one player, and now that player is suffering from anxiety and depression. He also used an ethnic slur. He also punched a player in the jaw. Like, I guess that player that's in this article, he had punched him while he was facing away over his right shoulder, and the punch hit him in the jaw. And this had to have been about a bad play in practice that occurred, because it describes after a foul that happened in the practice. And the thing is, this player had told Gregg Marshall that same day that the player's mother was stricken with cancer. And then later on in the article, Gregg Marshall tries to justify his actions by saying that it's his coaching style. Now, I will give Gregg Marshall credit for what he's done for college basketball. I mean, he led Wichita State to an NIT championship. He led Wichita State to the Final Four in 2013, putting Wichita State basketball on the map. He had an undefeated regular season with Wichita State, and ultimately their undefeated season got snapped by 8-seeded Kentucky in the second round of the tournament. But to blame this on your coaching style and not take any accountability, that's really unacceptable. And we have seen coaches have allegations against him for player abuse before. I mean, Mike Rice, the former coach for Rutgers, his abuse was actually shown on camera and it went viral. Gregg Marshall's allegations have taken place behind closed doors. And these have to be true. I know we're in kind of that like phase in our society where we want to see the evidence. We want evidence. Like, we can't take things word for word. Obviously, it has to be true, because why would you want to lie about a coach like Gregg Marshall? A coach that has talent, that has done great things for Wichita State's basketball program. And also in college football, we've had Mark Mangino being fired for abusing his players. We've had Mike Leach get fired from Texas Tech over allegations of mistreatment of an injured player. And we've seen Mark Mangino and Mike Leach both coaching football again. I believe Mark Mangino coached Youngstown State for a couple of seasons, or he was on that coaching staff. And we've seen Mike Leach coach, and he's still coaching. But with these statements that Gregg Marshall has, like these remarks he said to his players, I will be surprised if Gregg Marshall even coaches college basketball again, let alone be on a staff of a college basketball team. And that's really saying something. I get that Gregg Marshall, I get what he's done for Wichita State. But with this being 2020, and with this being cancel culture, with the things that he said, I don't see Gregg Marshall being a head basketball coach or even on the coaching staff of a college basketball team ever again. And Gregg Marshall did it to himself. And for him to justify it was just his coaching tactics, unacceptable. I actually used to respect Gregg Marshall. In fact, I was even rooting for Wichita State in 2013, the further along they went in the tournament. But I lost a lot of respect for Gregg Marshall in this last month during the investigation. And we'll see if he eventually decides to hold himself accountable and not justify his actions by his coaching tactic. Because what other coach would you even think of that would even use the tactics that he's supposedly using? It's like you don't see... I mean, I really doubt Nick Saban is body shaming his players, or if he's using these ethnic slurs. Like, it doesn't matter if it's even you're really saying these things or if you're just joking. 'Cause I know people always like to say, oh, it's kind of locker room talk. It's just kind of dry humor. It's just kind of those, like, supposed to be humorous. But there's nothing humorous about being culturally insensitive and really body shaming in 2020. That's all I have to say on the topic. Comment your thoughts down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you next time.